There is nothing impossible to him who will try. These aren't just empty words. They were the life philosophy of Alexander the Great, the boy who conquered the world. Our story begins in 356 BC in Pella, the capital of Macedonia. A prince named Alexander was born. His father, the brilliant King Philip II, had united Greece. His mother, Olympias, told him he was a descendant of the mythical hero Achilles. From the very beginning, Alexander was raised to believe he was destined for greatness, and he showed it early on. You've probably heard the story of Bucephalus, the wild, untamable horse that no one could ride. While grown men failed, a young Alexander noticed a simple fact: the horse was afraid of its own shadow. He gently turned Bucephalus towards the sun, calmed the animal, and mounted it with ease. His father, bursting with pride, declared, "My boy, you must find a kingdom big enough for your ambitions. Macedonia is too small for you to shape this incredible potential." Alexander was tutored by none other than the great philosopher Aristotle. He learned strategy, science, and philosophy, becoming not just a warrior, but a brilliant thinker. Then, in 336 BC, tragedy struck. King Philip was assassinated. At just 20 years old, Alexander was king. His enemies saw a boy and expected weakness. Instead, they got a whirlwind. Alexander swiftly crushed all rebellions, reasserted his control over Greece, and was named the leader of a united Greek army. His target? The Persian Empire, the largest and most powerful empire on earth, in 334 BC. With an army of around 40,000 men, he crossed into Asia. Before even stepping ashore, he hurled a spear into the soil, proclaiming, "Asia will be won by the spear." At his first major battle, the Battle of Granicus, he was vastly outnumbered. But Alexander didn't hesitate. He led the cavalry charge himself, nearly dying in the process, but his sheer audacity shattered the Persian lines. This single victory opened up all of modern-day Turkey to him. The Persian Empire, ruled by King Darius III, was a colossal power. At the Battle of Issus, Darius brought a massive army to crush the young invader. But Alexander was a tactical genius. Outnumbered again, he spotted a weakness and led a direct charge at Darius himself. The great king of Persia panicked and fled, abandoning his own family and his army. The world was stunned. The 22-year-old had just humiliated the most powerful man alive. Next, Alexander set his sights on the island city of Tyre, a fortress considered unconquerable. For 7 long months, he did the impossible. He built a massive causeway, a land bridge, right through the sea to the city walls. When Tyre fell, the world understood that no fortress could stop him. From there, he marched into Egypt, where the people, tired of Persian rule, welcomed him as a liberator. The legend of Alexander was growing, and some even began to call him a god. But Darius wasn't finished. At Gaugamela, in modern-day Iraq, he assembled the largest army in Persian history, some say over 250,000 soldiers. It was the ultimate showdown. Alexander's army was a tiny fraction of that size, but his military brilliance was at its peak. He used clever formations to create a gap in the Persian line, and once again, led a decisive charge straight for Darius. And once again, Darius fled. The Persian army collapsed, and with this one battle, Alexander, at just 25 years old, became the king of Asia. But even ruling the known world wasn't enough. He marched east, through deserts and over mountains, into modern-day Afghanistan and Uzbekistan, founding new cities along the way. In 326 BC, he crossed into India and faced his most terrifying opponent yet, King Paris and his war elephants. It was a brutal, bloody battle fought in monsoon rains, but Alexander's tactical genius won the day. So impressed was he by Paris's bravery that he made him an ally, returning his kingdom to him. After years of non-stop campaigning, his exhausted soldiers finally refused to go further. Alexander agreed to turn back. On the journey home, he led his men through the brutal Jedrosian desert, sharing their thirst and hardships, marching on foot beside them. His loyalty to his men was absolute, and they loved him for it. But the legend's end was near. In 323 BC, in the grand palace of Babylon, Alexander fell gravely ill. He was just 32 years old, As he lay dying, his generals begged him, "To whom do you leave your empire?" He whispered a single phrase. "To the strongest." His death shattered the world he had built, leaving behind an empire that stretched from Greece to India and a legacy that would echo through eternity. He showed the world what is possible for those who dare to try. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories of incredible lives. We'll see you in the next one.